Welcome to Channel One TV, Channel One Sports. My name is Yao Ejemi, and I'm here with super middleweight contender from Ghana, SENA AGBEKO. He's based in the States, but he's made a return to Ghana for a bit before returning to his base in the United States of America. And I'm here with him. I'm glad to have him in this conversation that we're about to have. SENA AGBEKO, welcome to Ghana.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited to be back. I'm always happy to come back to my country of birth. Of course, we went to the same school. It's pretty exciting to be able to, just box and do what I love, which is boxing. So, yeah.
Yeah, great to have you again. So let's zoom in straight into the questions because you are a very busy man. You have your training regimen to follow and all. And so let's talk boxing, the general state of the sport, especially in relation to recent issues of doping, Ryan Garcia issues. Big Baby also had some issues with the doping. Do you think it puts the sport in a good place in terms of legitimacy of champions? The way athletics is, to the extent that when an athlete, a sprinter wins a race, there's always that bit of eyebrow raised about the legitimacy because of the many doping issues that have surrounded the sport. Do you think boxing is getting to that space?
I think boxing has always been there. It's only now that it's getting exposed more and more. When you think about the fact that one of the guys who was busted for doping, he actually ratted out Marion Jones, and Marion Jones went to jail, Victor Conte. This guy is now in boxing and has established a facility where he trains boxers, and if I had to guess, he's helping them beat the test, and all these guys are doping. So I truly think that all the champions are doping, and mind you, it's merely my opinion. And I feel like, as a country, we're very behind on a lot of what's going on with the rest of the world, and I don't think it's a lack of effort, because I've been all over the world. I've been, and especially in the U.S. I've been in the U.S. to a lot of different states for training, and when I tell you that the training in Ghana here is way better, and it's not even the technical training also. It's the technical training, the physical training, but for whatever reason, on fight night, there are known stimulants that these people take. Like Ryan Garcia was busted for the Ostarine, and Ostarine, will make you stronger, will make you hit harder. And people don't understand the difference these drugs make in a competitive fight. So, personally, I think that as a country, we need to just catch up to the rest of the world. And however we do that, it's up to authorities to figure out the best way to do it. But as an athlete, I'm also trying to find my path in the world and make sure that I'm successful. So, at the end of the day, you can only do your best and hope for the best, and that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay, great. Do you think the authorities did the right thing by restoring Devin Haney's unbeaten record?
In
the wake of the Ryan Garcia controversy.
Yes, I absolutely think they did the right thing. Granted that Ryan Garcia was caught. If you had to ask me, I would tell you I think both of them doped. Ryan Garcia got caught. Devin Haney didn't get caught. But, with the evidence that was presented, I think that they did the right thing by, taking away Ryan Garcia's win and penalizing him. Obviously, they took away his entire purse, which is $1 million, and they banned him for a year. So I think they totally did the right thing as a means of, just
sending out a message.
Yes, that, hey, this isn't the right thing to do. But I think there's a lot of hypocrisy there. And I think that a lot of them know that a lot of these fighters are doping. And it just boils down to having the connections and having the money to get around stuff. Going around these camps, personally, I have seen a lot of things that, I cannot disclose. But I have strong reasons to suspect that pretty much every champion in boxing at the moment is doping. And until Ghana finds a way to catch up to that, I think that it will continue to fall behind. And I think that it cuts across board. Because even Victor Conte, who ratted out Marion Jones, when he was asked in an interview on YouTube what the percentage of Olympic athletes he thought were cheating was, he said 90%. Now that's ridiculously high. And when you think about the 10% that aren't doping, that's probably all the African countries. That's probably all the African countries. So we need to up our game. I mean, I'm not saying that we should dope, but maybe advocacy for stronger testing rules. Just to even the playing field a little more, because genetically we're superior. Genetically, the black man is superior to the white man, and they shouldn't be beating us and all these things. And at the end of the day, yeah, the training methods, yada yada, whatnot, but these are all very universal now. We do the same things, and somehow, miraculously during the event, they always come out on top. So, I mean, there's just a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we need to uncover.
Okay, speaking of Ghana, we are in an Olympic year. In a couple of weeks, the Olympic Games will start. Ghana sent 9 athletes, 9-man contingent to represent the country in the Olympics. Unfortunately, there were no boxers. Our boxers tried several trial competitions, but couldn't manage to qualify. Your thoughts on this issue in relation to boxing?
I mean, it's for me, it's disappointing that the Ghanaian team didn't qualify any boxers to this year's Olympics. One of my biggest motivations for boxing was the 2008 Olympic team. They went to Beijing, and I watched them, and I was very impressed, and it was one of the reasons why I decided to box. So for me, it's very disappointing. Personally, I had a dream of going to the Olympics myself, but due to some political stuff within the Ghana boxing community, I wasn't able to pursue that. So I immediately went pro. I've been away for so long that it's hard for me to have an opinion on what could have gone wrong. And obviously there were other African countries that qualified. I know Nigeria qualified. I think Senegal may have some people as well. So, I mean, I think that just going back to when I was here, there was a lot of negligence from the authorities in terms of like funding, helping these boxers, camp, have the proper food, have the proper rest, nutrition to help them get ready for the event. So I think that we need to tackle those basics to begin with, and then hopefully that changes the outcome in the future.
I've spoken with a couple of people in the boxing space, and they have pointed to Ghana not having someone on the inside there at the big stage to be able to more or less hold the hand of our guys over here and get them on that big stage. And that has been the problem in recent years, where to get to that level, it has become harder than ever because of all the politics involved. So you need someone who is more or less an inside person to help you out, and that's what Ghana seems to be missing. And yes, despite the fact that the level has dropped off a little bit, but you still see countries churn out boxers with inferior quality, but they are still getting there. But with Ghana, it is not so, and that's what they believe is one of the main problems of Ghana boxing. Do you share in this?
I mean, honestly, the people that are here working on the ground know what the problem is. So I think that it's important that the authorities that are involved speak to the coaches, and then they ask them, hey, what do you think are the problems? Whether it's placing themselves politically in positions where they can influence judges, have favor in the judges, or if it has to do with funding the Ghana team more. I think they just need to listen to the coaches, because the coaches are the ones on the ground. They're the ones working. They know what they need. And as far back as I can remember, the team has always been very poorly funded, and there hasn't been a lot of support. I remember back in my day, it was the CEO of Geodro Ghana Limited. His name is Mr. David Harper. He was the one who actually who contributed a lot of money to the Ghana amateur boxing team. He would fly them out to other countries for exchange programs and whatnot. So during that time, Ghana boxing was doing pretty well. I believe Abdul Wahid Omar and a bunch of others are all a product of that system. So now we're at a point where the sponsorship has fallen off, and I think the government just needs to step in and then actually put in some measures to ensure that the boxers are actually really prepared for these events long before it's time to even start them.
Great. You are in a very competitive weight division. We have a lot of high-profile guys in there, and the biggest one is, of course, Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. Everyone wants a piece of him. um, especially David Benavidez.
Yes.
If you were Canelo Alvarez and he has consistently, sidestepped David Benavidez, if you were Canelo Alvarez, would you fight David Benavidez?
I mean, absolutely. You know, mind you, I had a chance to be in camp with Canelo for his last fight. I was with him for 7 weeks to help him prepare for Jaime Munguia. And I had a chance, of course, to ask him personally what his opinion was on the Benavidez situation. And I think personally, it's respecting for him. He's the man right now. He's in a position of power. He has the influence. He feels that Benavidez and his family, his team, have, on so many occasions disrespected him. So, in much like most things in life, if you displease somebody and they have the power to affect your life, they'll affect your life. So, I think that he just needs to calm down. I definitely don't think that Canelo is afraid of him because I've seen his training, I've seen his regiment.
Because that's what a lot of people say, that he's sidestepping him because he's afraid of him.
No, he's absolutely not afraid of him, and I think that it's a big fight. Floyd Mayweather, when he was at the top of the game, when he was the face of boxing, he pulled similar tactics to get the best paydays, and I think that Canelo is trying to do the same, but also there's a little bit of a personal issue going on where Benavidez is trying to get him angry and come out and fight him. But Canelo is a very smart man who's surrounded by a lot of really smart people, and I don't think they're moved by emotions, and they're just very pragmatic about how they approach their decisions within boxing.
Okay, great. Then there's another contender, Jaron Bootenes. He wants to fight Terence Crawford so badly. Do you see that fight ever happening, looking at where Crawford is at this point in time?
I think that Crawford is pretty much, he's over the hill. Not that doesn't mean that